Hello, folks. Welcome to Between Awesome and Disaster. This is your host, Will Carey. Thank you for listening. I appreciate you being here. I hope you are doing well, or as well as you can be, given the state of the world in the year 2020. That wherever you are, I hope that you're finding some slivers of positivity, which is my coping strategy for the foreseeable future, and how I am able to maintain. And then, as I've said repeatedly this year, doing this show and getting to do something that people interact with, and that allows me to connect with people, is a big help for keeping my mental health in check as well. I want to let you guys know, I mentioned it briefly in my interview with Mark Giuliano, the guitarist for Goalkeeper, but their most recent music video for the song "Just Say It" is out now. So if you haven't seen it yet, you can find it on YouTube wherever you get your music videos. I was fortunate enough to get to see it a little bit in advance of the actual release, and it's a delightfully entertaining video for a really great song that I really enjoy off of their upcoming EP, Life in Slow Motion. And this plays into our episode today, kids, because my guest on the show today is the drummer for Goalkeeper, Cody Allen. After Mark and I had such a great episode. I think it was a great episode, and people have told me they enjoyed it as well. Mark and I became friendly, and he said, "Oh, you should get the rest of the band on." And this is that plan in motion, and I'm looking forward to this. I don't know how to play drums. I can barely. I can keep a very steady, basic 4/4 beat, and I can play the toms like Voodoo from Godsmack, but I do not know anything about the process of creating drum parts for songs. And Cody also works as, from what my understanding is, before I'm recording this, before we have the interview, he handles lots of the marketing and social media for Goalkeeper. So that's something I'm interested to talk about as well, because if you're a creative person and the business side of being in show business, be it if you're like an actor or if you're in a band, the business side of it, be it marketing and cost risk analysis versus certain things, this is all stuff that might be coming to you later in life, as it is for me. So being able to talk to people that are learning and having success at those other aspects of the business, is enlightening for me as well. And I think it's a good skill, and it's good information to be able to hear. So we're going to hopefully get into some of that as well as some excellent punk rock talk, because that's what I enjoy doing on this show as well. So I'm looking forward to sharing this with you guys. If you enjoyed this podcast and you have a friend who you think might be interested in this as well, you guys are my best ambassadors for this podcast. So if you enjoy this and know cool people that would enjoy it as well, I appreciate you guys letting them know about that. And we are available everywhere you get your podcasts. And if you listen to this podcast and you want to interact with me, I'm very easy to find on social media. You can find me on Twitter at Comic Will Carey, and you can find me on Instagram at Will Carey23. Last name is spelled Carey. And I'd love to hear. I'd love to hear from you guys. Maybe if I hear something cool from you, I might read it on the show. So if you want to interact with me, I'm easy to find, and I appreciate you guys being here, at least for this portion, for portions of your day. So thank you again, and let's get into my chat with Cody Allen from Goalkeeper. You'll listen to it. I haven't had the conversation yet, so we'll touch base at the end of the episode and see how it goes. So thanks for being here, guys, and let's talk to Cody Allen, drummer for pop punk band Goalkeeper.
And how happy everyone else is with it so far, and how much we love it personally, and how honest and cool of a record it is. So it's like it's so cool that people are interested in it. And like, dude, I can't thank you enough for just like taking the time out of your day wanting to talk to us.
Oh, dude, this is like the kind of stuff I love. Like I love having conversations like this because before I ever did stand up, before I
Mm-hmm.
ever knew what podcasts were, this is where I came from. The foundation of
Mm-hmm.
all of my creativity is bands and punk rock specifically. So, and I've heard
Nice.
the EP sounds incredible. Like the production is fantastic.
Thank you.
The songs are
We
amazing. I
appreciate it.
wanted to, I guess, something to a good place to start out would be. I wanted to ask about your experience, like doing the EP, because I know nothing about playing drums or recording drums. So I'm curious, like, how about the recording process for this EP versus earlier
Mhm.
Goalkeeper stuff.
So honestly, the only thing that's really differed from like what we've done before, and as far as drums go, kind of when in a big sense, is like you record the same way. You put the mics in the right spot, and you test tone for a few hours and make
Uh huh.
sure everything sounds like picture perfect and to a T. So as far as that goes, the process was pretty much the same, but like the only thing that differs is like the person who was behind it, and
Right.
we had been blessed to work with Will because he's such a freaking genius.
Mm-hmm.
He's so like intelligent with his working, and like he just knows his craft so well. So we worked with a true professional, and I think the drums came out so fat and full this time around. It's so awesome.
Oh yeah, spectacular! Like the tom sounds and your snare sound just are just
Yes.
so amazing. It's like
Oh,
that classic
I
punk rock sound.
I have a fun fact about the snare. If you care to hear this,
Of
very
course.
very like gearhead fun fact. So we were looking for particular sounds, and Will recommended that we go to Blackbird Studio, which was down the road from where we recorded.
Mm-hmm.
And come to find out, the snare that we had used was also recorded on one of Taylor Swift's records.
Nice. That's
That's a fun
very.
fact. I think that's like to a T, a pretty fun fact.
Oh yeah, that's super cool. Of all the pop stars that I think are like
Hmm.
active right now, I
Yeah.
like her the most. It's mainly because she has there's you can find it on YouTube. There's a video of her at one of her Arizona tour dates back in the day, covering the middle by
Hmm.
Jimmy Eat World with Jim, and she gave this like
Oh, really?
yeah, and she gave this like really nice speech to the crowd, like during the breakdown, like when you get to the bridge and you're just
Yeah.
like tucka 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 tucka, and you got
Oh,
the
I know
lead
what you
singer's
mean.
like, all right, are you guys ready?
Mhm.
So Taylor's
Yeah.
like talking about this man wrote some of the songs that got me through the hardest times of my life. And to me, it was so cool to hear like a big pop star say that about a band that I grew up
Yeah.
loving. Like I would love
Absolutely.
like if I ever got to interview her, I would just want to talk about what's your favorite song on Clarity. Like that, nothing else, just that.
Yeah. What is your favorite song, Clarity? That's a
Oh,
great record.
that's an incredible record. It's for me. I think it
Hmm.
has to be just watch the fireworks. I think that song is probably my favorite out of a record with a
Hmm.
many amazing songs.
I have Clarity. I have the CD. I'm actually like that's why I'm looking over here. I'm looking at my CD collection. I was gonna bust it out. I think it's in my car, but Clarity is such a good record. I can't remember which song it is. I think it's like song number because I always put it in my CD player and never listen to like look at the tracks. I think it's like six or seven.
Mm-hmm.
Faded snow keeps falling. That's the first words of the song. Faded snow keeps falling. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I know the song you're talking about. So it could be either Crush or 1223
It's
95.
Crush.
Crush. Yeah,
It's Crush.
that's
Such a
an
good song.
such a good song, and I love the whole story
Mhm.
about on Farewell Sky Harbor. The idea was to just run out the entire reel of analog tape because this was back
Yeah,
when tape
I
was
didn't
still a
know
thing.
that. Oh,
Yeah,
that's
that whole
awesome.
electronica like jam that
Yeah.
happens and the
Hmm.
cool riff. Yeah, that was. I read that was because they were trying to use up an entire reel of analog tape.
Oh yeah, I didn't want to waste it. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
totally. Well, speaking of records, and this was an interesting touching point with Mark also, and for me
Hmm.
personally, are you sitting in front of a "So Wrong It's Right" vinyl by All
I
Time Low?
am, and
Okay,
this is my girlfriend's anniversary present. So like, our anniversary is tomorrow, so you don't have to worry about spoiling the surprise. But she's gonna see this later, and she'll be like, "You had it the whole time." But anyways, yeah, yeah. Please ask your
that
question.
oh yeah, that's great. So like All Time Low we're big for Mark, and I'm curious if the same was for you because I remember I was working at a Target in Baltimore County the
Mm-hmm.
day that record came out, and me and all of my like pop punk friends, we were like so excited that a band from Maryland had a CD in a
Yeah.
store, and we were like keeping copies because we were going to buy them on our breaks.
Oh, that's awesome.
Is
Yeah.
yeah, man. So is that
Yeah,
record
so
big
all
for
time
you?
low, like yeah, absolutely. They played a key role in I think a lot of bands these days. It's almost impossible to talk to somebody who doesn't like all time low. They just write such good songs.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny how much like they kind of revolve around our lives. As Kevin, he's friends with Ryan, and Ryan was talking amidst at one point like seeing if he wanted to do the last record or the EP with us, but we ended up doing what we will. But it's just like 7 clicks to or 7 whatever it is to Kevin Bacon. Like I feel like they're always right around in my life. I love All Time Low. The last record, Wake Up Sunshine, is
Oh my
chef
God,
kisses.
that I love
I
that
know,
record. One of my
I know,
favorites of the
dude.
year. It's
Absolutely,
amazing songs.
they came back super strong. I think that record is solid from the first song to the last. I think it keeps changing, but like in a super good way. Keeps you on your feet, and it's just loaded with pop hooks, and then
Mm-hmm.
there's still that angsty pop punk feel that you get from them. So yeah, I think as far as an all time low record goes, blows it out of the water. It's so good. Melancholy,
Melancholy
uh,
Kaleidoscope. That's my favorite song on the
Kaleidoscope.
record.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad we can agree. Yeah, that thing just it hits. It's a good record. All Time Low is a phenomenal band, and then I think if I remember correctly, that was like Mark's first pop punk show or something, and like
Yeah,
that
the
was
the Glamour
weird.
Kills tour. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, he tells that story all the time. I could probably tell it word for word because he always tells it. Yeah, no, Pop. They played a huge role, and it's fair to say that they played small influences in the record because I remember some kind of disaster. Is that what? No, what's
Um, I'm a
the
liar.
first
I'm a
single that
sin.
came out? Yeah,
Some
yeah.
kind of disaster. Yeah.
That's what I thought. Okay, so that came out when we were actually the week we're one of the weeks we were in the studio with Will and Kev. So
Mm-hmm.
I remember watching the music video, which was awesome, and I think now it's up for a VMA, which is
Yeah.
or a one. I can't remember because it was last night, but regardless, I was sitting there and I remember watching it for the first time in our Airbnb out there in Tennessee, and it was awesome. So I think it's played small roles in maybe how the record came out, and they've always influenced us. All Time Low is an awesome band.
Yeah.
And Durant.
Oh yeah, so good. I remember. I think I told Ryan this as well, but it's relevant. I had Mitch Allen from SR-71 on this year, which is like a
I love them. Oh
day one
wow,
day
holy
one
hell!
dream guest. And I remember the first two times early times I saw All Time Low. One was when they were opening for them in Baltimore, and Mitch told me about
Really?
that. Was like, I remember that show, and me and the drummer were like, these guys are the future. And then the other
Yeah.
time, my sophomore year of college, I was watching them in the back at like the campus activities area at my college. And then
Mhm.
after the show, the girl I was with dumped me, so it was like the most pop punk kind of experience you could have. It was
Yeah.
like the
Hmm.
chef's kiss of like teen
Yeah.
movie situations.
Yep. Cherry on top. It's the alcohol in the wound. Yeah, definitely, man. But that makes it pop punk. I'm glad you went through it. You came out better.
100%, man.
Yeah,
Um,
can agree.
so all time low, and for drums specifically, like how like guitar players there are like certain riffs you learn, and like Smoke on the Water, or I feel like for
Yeah.
punk you probably learn like All the Small Things
Uh-huh.
or Blitzkrieg Bop. Are there songs for drums that are like these are like the first cool beats that you learn?
So it's funny you mentioned that. I was thinking about this just the other day. One of the artists I think that really inspired, not inspired, but like some of the first things that I really felt were like memorable and wanted to learn because people would know it as soon as you played it was Fall Out Boy. Andy Hurley
Uh-huh.
is a significant drummer. He's super good.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, yeah, honestly, the first few songs any drummer learns who's in the pop punk community is like, it's Sugar We're Going Down that.
Uh-huh.
That Dance Dance,
Yeah, that's got a really
it's
good groove. 100%.
exactly, yeah, yeah. That a lot of Travis Barker, because that was popular when I was, first starting to play the drums. And the first song that I heard for Blink-182 that I actually knew was them was Reckless Abandon, and that
Uh-huh.
song is just so fun and off the wall. And I remember wanting to learn it so bad, and it was like that was like the first year I was playing drums, and I was like, how does it do anything? But um,
Yeah.
so that was like previous experiences or influences rather. I would say for this EP, kept in mind were some drummers, so like Mike Kenny from the Wonder Years, super super good.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of Menzingers influence, I'd say a little
Mm-hmm.
bit. You know, a little bit more to the punk grassroots.
Yeah, yeah.
And then just like a lot of pop groove, because I think there's in all good songwriting there comes that little bit of pop fits in there that literally it will really helps you nail the earworm. That really gets stuck in people's minds. And they want to listen to it over and over again.
Yeah.
And that has a lot to do with the drums, because drums set that whole groove.
Oh yeah, 100%. Uh, like to me, I'm always excited. Like throughout my like entire time playing music, I always feel more like a rock star when I'm like playing with drums, obviously, because that's what
Yeah.
you initially gravitate towards before you even hear like
Yep.
the chorus or or whatever the hook might be. You're grooving to
Hmm.
the tempo of the song, and the drums are the foundation of all
Yep.
that. Um,
Hmm.
and were drums the first instrument you gravitated to when you started playing music?
No, I actually got denied when I went to learn to play guitar, because I went
Uh
to
huh.
the music store, whatever, music lessons, whatever you want to call it. I went
Mm-hmm.
to go get them, and the guy who was teaching guitars, he looks at me and he says, "No, your hands are too small. No, you can't play guitar yet." I was like, "Fuck!" Like, I want to play. God
Oh my
damn. So,
god.
yep. So I made every parent's worst nightmare, and I said, "You know what? I want the drums, Dad." Yeah.
And your dad's
So they
just
bought.
like, oh no.
I got into a really, I look back at it in hindsight, like the neighborhood that I live in, they were super supportive of me playing, because A, I was super terrible for so long, like everyone is.
Mm-hmm.
And then B, I was playing punk rock. So do ba ba do ba ba do
Yeah.
ba, and it's so loud and so like just beat them up all the time. And I play for hours, and I just find people would actually, like, neighbors would walk by, they kind of sit out for a second, just listen, and then go by. And we had band practice up there in my attic, and like, we're talking guitars, bass, and
Uh-huh.
the whole PA system up there. And like the neighborhood was just like, yeah, do it. Oh my God, you're a rock star. I was like, and then like you get outside and you find people who are playing like storage just because they can't play in their own houses. I'm like, wow. Yeah. So I got super lucky with the drums, and plus my dad, he's always pushed me to do music. So he was super happy about it.
Oh, great.
Mm,
That's awesome. Yeah, I feel you. I live in New York City in Queens in apartments, so it's like
oh, I can't
all
imagine.
I can do is easy drummer right now. I like my
Yeah.
band. We were gonna play our first three shows in March before, and then the
Mm,
pandemic canceled them all one by one. So I'm just,
mm,
oh, okay. I'm gonna learn how to program until we can all get back in the room again.
yeah.
And
It's adapting. Yeah.
yeah, you do what you can until you can do what you want to do. Is
Do
I
what you
just
did.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And you're from Jersey?
Yep. Bottom of it.
Okay, so you're from
295
the
exit
pork
one.
roll part of New Jersey?
Yes, yes, the pork roll, which is, I mean, that's the term. I think Taylor Ham is the brand, and it's pork roll. So
Yeah, yeah.
if anyone needs any clarification from an actual firsthand primary source, hi, how you doing?
And what part and where in Jersey?
So Salem County, it is the man, like, most agricultural rural place you can imagine.
Mm-hmm.
Very small town, very pop punk. Got to
Yeah.
get out of here. It's all horrible.
Got to get out of this
you
town
know,
with my friends. Yep.
that's what I'm saying, man. That's what I've been trying to do since day one. And yeah, it's pretty much close to Delaware, that far south. So
Okay.
we're not talking, anywhere close to New York. And Philly's probably about like 45, 50. Depends how fast you're speeding.
Oh yeah, yeah, totally. No, I
Yeah,
grew up in like super rural Maryland, so I drive
yeah,
through that
you
part.
understand.
Yeah,
Yep.
100%. Definitely, like you kind of just look around and then you look around at the people that like maybe graduated ahead of you and they didn't go somewhere else, and you're just
Yep.
like, oh, I don't want that for myself.
Yeah, you're like,
So
I'm sorry for you, brother. Yeah.
yeah, but it's great that it's a place where you can. It's great that it's a place that kind of can foster this creativity. And I have a
Yeah.
long-standing thesis when it comes to punk rock and pop punk specifically, is that it's a genre that is born out of suburban boredom. Like it's you have a couple, and it's the thing that happens. It's the thing you do when you're to not get in trouble.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is
But it
that
still feels like some sort of rebellion or some sort of angst.
yeah, 100%.
Mm,
And if anything, it's different sounding. And you
yeah.
said your dad pushed you to play music earlier. So did you grow up in kind of like a musical creative household?
So my dad, he was just like super into Jesus rock. So like Switchfoot, Reliant K,
Uh
Thousand
huh.
Foot Crutch, FM Static, dude. So he
Pillar.
always pushed me to play those, and he always wanted me to be in like a Christian rock band, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, you know, one day he found out I was listening to Bruce Springsteen, and one day it was Run Down, the next it was Green Day, and you know, here we are. So, he was always been super supportive, and he had never played an instrument himself, but like he used to be like a roadie, and he used to help in this band. He used to help. They were called Sword. Yeah, they were a Christian rock band called Sword. And
Nice.
my dad used to go to their shows and help out and bring all the stuff in, stage hand, get the crowd all hyped, you know. So
Uh
he's
huh.
always been involved in music like that, and you know he always wanted me to. So I ended up getting involved in it, and I mean it's super awesome. I couldn't imagine anything else. Music is it's so infused with my life at this point. There's like it's like kind of weird to think there's other circles of life that you know music doesn't involve. There are people who don't listen to music, you know.
Oh yeah, exactly. Like you talk to someone who just is like who just like their taste change based on like whatever the clear
Mm-hmm.
channel algorithm decides is going to be the top 40 for that
Yep.
section. Um,
Mm-hmm.
which I'm actually when we were talking about like pop when you were mentioning pop grooves earlier, I'm actually happy now for the kind of pop music that is on the radio right now,
Mm-hmm.
because I feel like even that stuff kind of still has a foundation in what real music is not the right thing to say, but it doesn't come off like it's like manufactured
Yeah.
to
Yeah, it
fit a
doesn't feel
formula.
so like disingenuine. You know, I think that's a very good point because something that I talk to people a lot about is if something's popular, if something's on the radio, like especially talking about music,
Hmm.
if it's on the radio and it is popular and it's getting a lot of you know headway in mainstream, that doesn't make it bad in any shape, way, or form.
Yeah.
You know, so you have a lot of popular artists who are putting out a lot of good work lately. You know, and as long as it feels genuine, and as long as it feels like putting out something that feels like they've written or had a part in, you know, that's good. You know, pop music is awesome, and there's so much out there. You know, a lot of good hooks, a lot of things to learn from.
Oh, 100%. And like,
Mm.
especially because when I think about like the boy band era, the only thing I can think of, like, especially in terms of percussion, is that sort of like that like 808 kind of like very artificial
Mm-hmm.
sounding like
Yeah.
kick snare sound. So I like when I listen to someone like a Billie Eilish or somebody like that, and uh, like she has like an actual drummer, and and the bass lines and on her stuff is so intricate and like
Yeah,
cool.
when you
So,
talk to Ryan about or whatever whenever it is you talk to him about this because we he always has this theory that guitars are coming back into mainstream, and I think it is because you hear more artists these days throwing an awesome guitar riff in there as like yeah I mean lead under the main chorus or whatever it is, but like you hear it in there like guitar's coming back. Good example is Machine Gun Kelly. He's putting out a pop punk album.
I know.
Like
I can't wait to hear it. Like I did not.
I know it's gonna be so awesome, dude.
Yeah, and Travis Barker is playing the drums
Yeah.
on that album, and
Travis Barker is such an influencer these days. I mean, we can talk about that for like forever, and we don't have to right now. But like, he's doing such a phenomenal job influencing music right now.
oh, 100%, because you just need somebody to like say, hey, this it's cool to be into all of this stuff like that. That's sort of and I have a theory about on this also. Like when you're older, you're kind of like establishing like your when you're younger, you're establishing your identity and like your community and your tribe,
Sure.
and then as you get older, like you can start kind of letting go on some of that rigid on some of those kind of like rigid
Mm-hmm.
definitions of things. And I
Yeah.
especially when it comes to music, like yes, you've got rappers playing guitar and doing pop punk. Lots of your heavy metal bands are using program drums now.
Yep.
So everything like whatever rule you have, it's being broken. And
Yep.
as long as you just
Gone.
kind of free yourself up to
Throw it out the
enjoying it,
window.
um,
Yep.
yeah, if anything, I think you're gonna lead a much happier life that
Yeah.
that way.
Honestly, when it comes down to it, I think the best part about music is that people can create whatever they want, you know, and as long as they feel like that's where the best music comes from, as long as they're putting out music that's like truly them, truly from like their own mind and their own influences and what they like, and if they're happy with it, hey, that's art, you know. So people are just putting out good art and they're just feeling themselves these days. I think it's awesome.
Exactly, and you're seeing like you're seeing like a lot of the influences of a lot of different stuff coming together.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I listen to Ed Sheeran, that is a guy who sounds like he grew up listening to like singer songwriter acoustic guitar music, and
Mm-hmm.
he also listened to rap, and
Yep.
that can only create something different and cool sounding. Do
Yeah,
you do you,
absolutely.
do you have do you have a moment in your life where you remember when you were first introduced to punk rock?
Whew, man. Okay, probably. I could probably name the artist who was like first. So it was probably the closest thing to pop punk. No, I wouldn't even say closest thing. It is. It is a pop punk record. There's Reliant K's Two Wrongs Don't Make It Right, but Three Do.
Mm-hmm.
And
Great record.
it's dude, it's just slapstick punk from first second to like, the very last. And I remember I was fell in love with it. It was in my car. We listened to it till it broke. We had
Mm-hmm.
to buy another one. That was the first introduction. If we're talking like bigger names, that was the first record that influenced me. And then probably the biggest influence that got me to know that like I wanted to, if I was gonna play music, I wanted to do punk rock was Green Day,
Mm-hmm.
100%. Yeah. In fact, give me one second. I'm looking at it right now.
Oh, sure, sure. I love stuff like this.
This is these are Green Day shoelaces for
Oh,
American
nice.
Idiot.
Yeah, with the
Uh,
heart grenade. Yeah.
Yeah, isn't that? Yeah, I remember being in eighth grade and I put them in my shoelaces, and like Green Day Rock Band was out at the time, which I thought like the universe released for me because I was so into them at the time.
Yeah.
And I mean, like looking back, they're just great artists. They just put out awesome songs. They're very punk rock, and still till today, like they put out some good stuff. I mean, there's a few hit or misses there for me in
Mm-hmm.
between, but like overall, they're gonna be a band that's remembered forever.
Oh, absolutely. 100%. And I love that uh, they I think for a while they kind of held off on maybe incorporating some of their other influences, like that garage rock kind of thing.
Yeah,
And they're doing it now, and I dig some of it. I always love when they do like that like a classic Green Day pop punk kind of song.
yeah,
But I find a lot of their stuff really interesting. I came to them late. Like my first Green Day record was
really.
Warning, believe it or not.
Okay. Well, yeah. Oh God. Wow. Warning. I came in at 21st Century Breakdown, dude.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I thought you were about to say you came in at like Uno or something like
Oh
that.
no, no, not that bad.
Yeah.
I'm old enough that I was too young for Dookie on the first wave, but I was like right at the perfect time for Enema of the State, the self-titled
Yeah.
Newfound Glory, by
Ooh.
Reliant K, like that
Yeah.
era,
Yeah.
that stuff.
Now, I will say, Warning is an underrated Green Day record.
I think it is.
The song Waiting. I've been
Mm-hmm.
waiting a long time. Dude, that is one of the best top five for me. Top five Green Day songs. It's just, it's so good. And I feel like it's very nostalgic and like, it doesn't date itself in a bad way, but like, it tells you about like just like a moment. Especially if you watch the music video, like, it just feels like a moment in time for music,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Oh, totally. And another song from that album I think is really underrated is Macy's Day Parade, which I think had just a
Yeah.
very simple black and white video.
Yep. And he shaved his head.
Yeah,
Yep.
I really like that one as well. So you're telling
Hmm.
me like your dad wanted you to be into Christian rock when you start playing music, you're
Yeah.
growing up in rural New Jersey. Is there any kind of a local scene, or are you playing in the church to begin?
Bruh. Yeah. So let me give you a little bit of a insight into what's going on here. Mark lives in Delco. I live in South Jersey, and then Ryan, he lives down at the beach, which is like an hour and a half from me. So
Uh huh.
pretty scarce, if you want to call it that.
Sure, sure.
It's in Salem County, I'll say. We had a few cool bands that have been around from like where I am. The Artisan, they're like a heavier band, but like they had a moment back in like 2012 where they were pretty happening. But they're like
Mm-hmm.
that post hardcore
Sure.
kind of thing. So besides that, really no. I mean, the scene is kind of active now because it just is that crossover between Philly and South Jersey, and you've got a
Sure.
lot of cool bands who are coming out of it. But there's a very very small scene. You get into it and it's good. So as far as I've seen for South Jersey, however, the Philly scene super cool, absolutely.
Oh yeah, yeah, because obviously you have the Wonder Years. Yeah, Tom Mate, he put a lot. When he told me that a lot of he credits a lot of the financial crisis in 2008 with the burgeoning of the Philadelphia scene. Who else do you
Mm.
play with in the Philadelphia area? Who are some bands I should check out?
So right now, I think some bands you should probably check out if you don't already know. Well, I think we'll start at the obvious ones like Grayscale and Rich People.
Mm,
Interested? Have you listened to them?
I know Grayscale. I
Grayscale,
like
or,
them.
have you listened to Rich People?
No.
Listen to Rich People.
Okay, I'll listen to Rich
They're
People.
they're an indie emo kind of going band, but dude, such good fucking stuff. It's unreal. It's very unique. And just I won't gush too much about it. They just released an album called Harmony. It's
Mm-hmm.
it's phenomenal, and just the way they interact with their fans, how real they are as people. I just feel like you really connect with them. They do such a good job of it. So
Oh, cool.
I've sold you enough. I sold you enough on them. Rich People's an awesome band. Check them out. There's our Friend Circle. Have you listened to them?
No, but I'm writing all of these down
Yeah.
while
Oh,
you.
yes, absolutely. So Friend Circle is spelled FRND circle E, something like that. You'll find it from there. I promise.
All right, awesome.
Yeah. Also, Friend Circle, if you watch this right now, I'm so sorry. I can't remember how your name is spelled. I'm so sorry.
I
Um.
mean, I do the same. I have a good friend who
Yeah.
plays in a band in Bushwick, and uh,
Mhm.
their their name is Nileosaurus. I believe I'm pronouncing it right. I have the hardest time spelling it, and he was on the show also. I was like,
I can
I
imagine
had to
why.
spell check it like 4 times.
However, that sounds like a dope dinosaur. Also, just looked up a few other ones. Midfield, awesome band. They just released another song called "Smackdown of the Century," and if you can imagine what it might sound like, it's basically the Smackdown of the Century. So check that out too.
Excellent. I will do. Yeah, I've heard of them, so I definitely want to check them
Nice.
out as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's so it's sparse where you're starting. So you're basically just like
Mhm.
playing in your attic. And at what point did you
Yeah.
realize this is what I'm gonna pursue?
Yeah. Dude, you know what? I actually remember like some stupid Facebook post I put on when I was like younger and super like naive. I put like this long thing about getting home at like 2 a.m. from helping my bro bring his band stuff up to this show in Trenton. And I was like, this is such band life, and I love band life. I want to do this. And
Uh
like,
huh.
as stupid and cliche as it sounds, like I just, for some reason, dude, the idea of just playing your music and your passions and your ideas and living on hardwood floors and seeing the world, like something about that just drew me to it.
Uh huh.
Unlike anything other. So, and I think maybe this has to do with your theory about being in such a small town that you want to see more. And that's all I wanted, because like I did not like where I grew up. As you can imagine, and I'm not, talking any trash and from where I came from because it built me who I am, but like
Mm-hmm.
there's just a lot of systemic racism and bad thing and it's like closed
Yeah.
mindedness,
Sure.
and so it's just to get out and just to see the rest of the world and see what it really is truly like. It makes you want to do that. And I feel like with music, it's such an awesome thing to be able to express your thoughts, feelings, and ideas about, just basically what's going on in your life and sharing out with others and hope they relate. And then also you get to see the rest of the world. So I mean, like, tell me another job that does that.
Yeah, exactly. That's the whole thing that drew it to me as well. I'm like really vibing with you right now because same thing. Grew up in a
Good.
super small town where I got tired of seeing the Confederate flag in people's yards
Yep,
and
and they
shit
defend
like
it.
that.
It's so crazy. It's
Yeah,
just like, and yeah, I'm glad you can understand. I'm glad you know where I'm coming from.
I
It's
know
horrible, but like,
I know exactly where you're coming from. I just needed to be like around. I needed my surroundings to be different,
yeah,
and when I got to college, and then I was like, uh, New York is where I'm gonna be. So I'm completely vibing with you there.
yeah,
And then when you think about like when you start, and then also when you start to travel, like your mind just kind of expands, and you kind of see
yeah,
things differently. You view
yep,
people differently because like and I probably mentioned this to Mark as well, but I was in India a couple of years ago, and
oh wow,
I had a Blink 182 shirt on, and
mm-hmm.
one of the guys at the hotel came up to me and was like, "That's a great shirt. I love that band." I was like, "Oh, they have a new album. It's called California." They do. Yes, this is what it looks like. You should download it. And he was like, "All right, I
Mm-hmm.
will." So to have like moments like that, and like
Yeah,
what else could I what else
no,
about this guy and I's upbringings could it have be that similar?
like,
But we meet
yep,
on this thing.
yep. There's a special connection that's made when you connect with someone on a musical level, and
Mm.
I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because like you understand what you like about that song, and if you feel someone else likes that song, maybe you connect on that. Like you both like it for the same reason. It's just like it brings people together in a very positive way, a very
Mm-hmm.
supportive way most of the time. I mean, like look at the concerts that you've been to. Like I'm not sure if you've ever been to like Mayday Parade, but like when they start playing Miserable at Best, in
Mm-hmm.
Philly at least, there used to be this whole crowd where everyone would just like sit on the ground together with like with their phones shining the light and everyone's singing along and swimming back and forth and like it's emotional and just you bring these people together and it's how you make friends, and that's something I really realized about goalkeepers. We've created a small group of people who I think have just gotten together through these concerts, met each other. Now they talk to each other online and communicate and like they get to talk about goalkeeper and other pop punk things and like just life in general. And it's like well, that's cool if you guys can get to enjoy like a friendship when you come to our show and then also enjoy us rocking. Like, dude, I mean, like, hey, I'm happy to be part of that.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's kind of like the overall goal of the whole thing, because
Exactly.
you're
Create a community.
yeah,
Exactly.
100%. And 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 so goalkeeper so and when do goalkeeper start, if you could refresh my memory?
June or July. No, July of 2016. We're in our fourth year now. Yeah, just we got done playing as the Pizzas for a cover show, and I think our first practice was in like July. So I'd say July of 2016.
Okay. And
Mm-hmm.
did you guys know each other like from playing around? And did you study music or in school, or
Mm. Oh
it's just all
God, no,
self-taught?
no.
No.
You just put it in the ears. For me, for drums, you put it in the ears and you just tap along. That's how that came along.
Gotcha. So you can
Uh,
listen. So you can listen to a song and go, okay, so it's about this fast. So kick
yep,
snare. The biggest thing
yep.
for to me for drums, whenever like my drummer lets me sit behind the kit, is I can I can coordinate like one, two, three, four, but like when
Hmm.
you start getting into like punk tempos, like I have no idea what to do with my right foot.
Yep. Oh, dude, the biggest thing is, the piece of advice they always give is take these limbs, right? And you got to separate them all. You got to be able to turn this right hand this way and then be able to go up and down with this hand, and it's same thing with your feet. And then you have to do all that at the same time. And like you figure it out. Once you get into that rhythm, once you figure out that method, a
Mm-hmm.
lot of it is muscle memory. So like and this is the greatest thing, and if any drummers are listening, please listen to me now. When you're playing live, use a metronome. Use a metronome, put the metronome in. I don't give a shit if it's your iPhone headphones and you're playing it through an app that's cost you like 99 cents. I don't care. Use a metronome. It helps so much, especially with just like how your muscles start to learn how to like appropriate between that click because you don't
Mm-hmm.
have to work as hard with your brain. Your brain can like sit down for a second and focus on some other things while you have that going. And
Going.
like,
Yeah.
I just realized this like a year and a half ago. So like, I'm not a hypocrite at this point because I am full in. You have to like, it changes the game. Our live game has improved so much just because of a click.
Oh, really?
And I never realized it. I was very
Wow.
ignorant to it. I was like, yeah, fuck a click. No way. You need the soul, brother. And then I put a click in for one show and I was like, this is kind of cool, dude.
And then you just kind
Yeah.
of like set it before each song starts, before you
Yeah.
count
Yeah. You get
everybody
a,
in.
you get a set list or like you put it on your phone, you open up your notes app and you have like the BPMs put next to it, which also helps with recording. If you know your BPMs, it makes it so much easier for tracking songs and demos. And that's a
Mm-hmm.
whole nother topic. But like, yeah, putting that in, that's the metronome is what makes everything for the drums now.
Yeah,
Like,
that's something I've had to I've slowly, because I've been teaching myself home recording while I've been in lockdown. So
yeah. Mm-hmm.
when I got Easy Drummer or Easy Keys, I was like, oh, I'm really gonna have to know how many
Yeah.
BPMs this
I
song is. And so like,
Yep.
okay, and then I'm start googling how to determine how many BPMs a song is, how to
Yep.
determine what key a song is in, all of that kind of stuff. Because you think,
Yeah.
like, you grew up like reading about like punk, and you're just like, oh yeah, punk, you don't really need to know how to play the instruments. And then after talking to Mark, I was like, oh, I guess I better get a music theory course or something.
Mark is a freak, and I love you, Mark. And I hope you're watching this. But Mark is a freak, dude. He can talk to you about the G chord for like 70 minutes, and like you only have to say yeah twice. Dude, he knows guitar so well, and that's the reason. Mark is the reason why we're so successful on another point, but he's just such an excellent guitarist because he knows his theory so well, and then he
Mm-hmm.
also takes the time to learn modern covers. He keeps up with it. Like Neck Deep put out a new record, right?
Yep.
I think he learned I Revolve Around You.
Uh-huh.
This
Yeah, that's
song,
good.
the
Great song.
record is just phenomenal from the
Oh
first
yeah.
fucking seconds to the last. It doesn't stop. It's such a good thing. And Mark decided to learn that. He also just learned Big Vibe by Seaway, which is also a phenomenal song. And it's just like it's keeping up with the world in the States. So like, you learn new chords and you keep progressing. Mark is all about theory and he's all about that. So like he's another whole animal. I don't know how he works. He's so neurotic. It's so awesome and terrifying at the same time.
Yeah, I felt like I got a lot of ideas for things I need to do after
Yeah.
we chatted.
He's good for that. He's really good for that.
Yeah, one of my other favorite pop punk records, just because you were talking about the new Neck Deep, that made me realize how familiar are you with the band Stand Atlantic?
I love them.
They're
Absolutely. They just put out Pink Elephant.
Yeah, Pink Elephant is amazing. Like I feel like
Mm-hmm.
that's a record that seamlessly incorporates very modern pop sounding influences, but is
Mm-hmm.
still like a pop punk record. I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they've created themselves a brand and also a musical style. When you hear a Stan Atlantic song, it's a Stan Atlantic song at this point, which is awesome. Their
Hmm.
songs kick, and there's a lot of really really unique things on there. There's a song like in the middle of the record. I'm trying to think of what it is, but I have no idea what it means. Um, I can't remember what it is right now. That's a shame. But
One song I don't quite understand, but I just love screaming it is from their first full length, "Skinny Dippin'." The chorus,
yeah,
"Skinny dipping in my jeans, you get wet," but I
yeah.
don't exactly know what it's referring to, but like it hits me
Yeah,
in
yeah.
some way.
Sometimes that's it. Sometimes if you give it meaning, it loses its meaning. Absolutely. If it hits, it hits.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yep.
Um, and something else I wanted to ask you. This is because Mark I think kind of told me that you're sort of like the marketing brain behind the band as far as like social media and promotional stuff, which is something I'm de facto learning because my bandmates are not on social media, and I also do this podcast myself.
Mhm.
I'm curious if there is something that you would recommend that you think more bands should be doing when it comes to their internet presence.
I am so glad you asked me this question.
I mean,
So,
this is the unsexy stuff that is
yeah,
really
no,
important to learn.
it is absolutely 100%. I couldn't agree more. The thing that I take care of and manage mostly is the Twitter for the band, and
Hmm.
I think more bands should get on that. There is, I don't think, in a social media way, a better way to be more connected to your fans because everyone has an individual account. Not to say like you can't do that with Instagram, but like I don't know, just like the energy on Twitter, the feeling that like people have, it's like it's different than Instagram, obviously. So like I
Hmm.
feel like there's just like less of a barrier and people understand you're real. Like if you'll scroll through the tweets, you'll see me text like some of the tweets are just spelled out with like text like you are, just like to spell out your and like it's very just create your own personality. And I
Hmm.
love that because that just like it's so inviting of everybody just to create who they are online and like be unapologetic about it. So
Hmm.
if I can recommend something, get the person in your band who says funny things sometimes,
Uh-huh.
who can put something really funny in a quip, write it down, and send it out and create a personality. As soon as you have that, then like you can just like you can connect with your fans so much better. Like the people we talk to, I think, possibly daily is because they come back because they know they're talking to somebody real, which is so much
Hmm.
better than like I think having Facebook where it's just a post. And not to say that it's not beneficial. Facebook and Instagram are very beneficial, but like I enjoy Twitter so much because it is very personal. And like I feel like a lot of bands, not on the high levels, but on like smaller levels,
Hmm.
don't take advantage of it because it's harder to get like a reaction. You're not going to see hundreds of likes like you might on Instagram. You're going to see like a local band. For us, I love it when I see like we get 25 likes on a tweet. If we get
Hmm.
up to 40, I'm like, oh my god, guys, we're famous. It's like
Yeah.
so it's smaller reward, but like, well, it seems like a smaller reward, but it's not because you're talking to people like you. I mean, that's how we set up this. That's how we set up.
Yeah, totally. And you're very funny on the band account.
Thank
Like
you,
again,
thank you.
it seems like that there's like an actual personality behind it because like
Yeah.
and so the way I could compare it to doing stand up, like you you get the funniest version of a comedian when they're on stage. Like you'll get like
Yeah.
the funniest version of the truth or who they are. And then like when you
Mhm.
tweet or like do things like this, that's where you see like, oh, that's who that person really is. And
Yeah.
the personality kind of shines through as compared to just like essentially like a corporate account where it's just like we're doing a show,
Yes.
here's
Mhm.
here's some merch.
Yeah.
We did a show.
Yeah. And you know what? So this is an interesting point for goalkeeper ascent in general, because like we've noticed a lot of bands who just, you post information for a show, and I know a show, I remember those. But like you'd say, doors at 7, these are bands, come through. Like you're not inviting anybody. Like that's like you throwing a piece of paper on a bulletin board and hope people come through. So like
Yeah.
to actually have some personality in your band, that's excellent. And the way that I think we've been so popular, and people have been want to talk to us, is just we present our own personalities. We're, instead of just goalkeeper, we're Mark, Ryan, and Cody.
Mm-hmm.
All three of us, and like we just want to get to know all of you. And so like instead of acting like we're just this big corporate thing, because I mean like bands are businesses, but
Mm-hmm.
like you have to have your personality in there. If you don't, I mean, like, why are you doing it?
Oh yeah, exactly. It's and that's much more. I found that much more enjoyable. Like I've started tweeting like music jokes from my band's Instagram, and I just find it
Yeah,
so much more fun than just saying,
yeah,
"Oh, I went on Teespring and now we have masks," like
yeah,
that kind of
yeah.
stuff.
Hmm.
I still do that on occasion, but if you give like, and this is all stuff. I don't want to say like I'm a marketing genius. Like I watch the YouTube channel Punk Rock MBA a lot, and I've picked up stuff from a lot of stuff from that.
Hmm.
So that's a much more entertaining way to go about doing your social media than
Yeah,
just like,
absolutely.
thanks Cleveland. Uh,
Yeah, it helps set you aside, and I think that's the biggest determining factor. Uh, People are going to listen to music that appeals to them. So, like, if you are a personality and you are appealing, people like people like individuality. People like uniqueisms. Be yourself. That's all I can say. That's what I found out when you talk to people, especially being on the road. It's like you're meeting 1,000 different people all the time. It's just like talk to talk to them as yourself. That's gonna be the best way. You know,
ab-
People like
ab-
it.
Absolutely, man. How much touring have you guys done? I know you guys have some shows lined up for
Mm,
next year. Have you guys gotten to
yeah.
do a lot of touring yet?
So this year we had 150 shows planned.
Yeah.
Like we were fucking doing it, dude. We were gonna hit as far west as Chicago, as far south as like Texas. We were gonna do like 2 weeks in Texas, and obviously like you just mentioned, we were gonna do Fest in Florida. So we
Mm-hmm.
are gonna head further south that way than we ever have. We were kicking, and you know, so I mean, as far as that goes, it sucks. But like before that, we had been blessed to go to the places we have been. So we haven't done as many tours as we'd like to say, because we wish we could tour all the time. But we've seen some pretty cool places, and like we've been up to like Rhode Island, Connecticut, and a lot of northern places in New York, like yeah, Rochester and Poughkeepsie, down in North Carolina, and we got to get Georgia right before we went to the studio, which was really cool. That was pretty far south for us. We played in like this. It used to be a church, but then it was turned into this punk rock venue. But then the
Uh huh.
guy, I think, a cult leader. I don't really know how to explain it besides that, because like he like talked to me at the bar for like 15 minutes about like how the world's ending. I was like, dude, I have set to get to. I have to do my snare. I don't care what I have to do. I have to get away from here now.
I
But
have had that moment because like doing comedy in New York, I have done me and my friends like we've done shows in like you know like hookah bar basements, sex shop basements,
there you go.
laundromat, pizza shop, the street.
Awesome.
I one time did a show like in Union Square is like a pretty popular meeting up place, and there was like someone had set up a microphone, and people were going on like long-winded political rants. This was like very when I first moved here, and me and my friend Ben got in line and just and did stand up, and surprisingly, it went over pretty well because people are just
That's
yelling.
awesome. See, that's what I love to hear. That's awesome, man.
Yeah, I love doing shit like that. I have this I
Yeah.
sometimes have this instinct to just kind of like confuse people,
Yep.
and that was one of
They're
those.
on for a whirl. Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's
Yeah,
super funny.
yeah,
Yeah, well, as soon as it's all over, man, we have to hook up in the city. That'd be awesome. I
yeah.
don't think we've actually, like, the closest we've gotten inner city is like Brooklyn, I think.
Hmm.
We played at Gold Sounds. You ever been there?
Oh yes, I know Gold Sounds very well. I'm buddies with the rapper MC Lars, and
Okay.
I saw him do a show there. Yeah, there's some. That's a pretty cool spot.
Yeah. Yeah, that is a cool venue. I do like it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I'd
up there. I think.
absolutely we got to hang out, man.
Oh, absolutely, man. Yeah, 100%. What's No, no, never mind. Never mind. I figured it out in my head. Don't worry about it. Never mind.
Okay, cool. Sounds good. Something else and I feel fortunate to get to chat with all you guys now because I feel like when Happy came up in my when the Spotify algorithm said you would like this and I was like thank you gods of the internet when Happy came up in my algorithm I was like instantly attracted to it. So I feel like I'm very fortunate. I feel like I'm talking to you guys about right before you get incredibly successful. So I'm fortunate for these
Dude,
for this conversation.
thank you very much. Kind
Ap-
words go a long way, man. I really do appreciate that. That the support is never like undergiven, and we support everything that you guys give us. Like, thank you so much. Those words just make me blush, man. Thank you.
Dude, absolutely. Something else I wanted to ask you in relation to the new EP, which again I think is great. Mark mentioned that and I might be misremembering what he told me, but he said that you and Ryan are kind of like the main songwriting core of the band, and I'm curious. As a drummer, how do you see
Mm.
your role in the songwriting process, and how do you, as a drummer, contribute to that process?
So it's it's really easy. We go half half, you know. So I pick up a guitar and because I know really basic chords, and I come to find all you really need are basic chords.
Yep, pretty
Sometimes I
much.
write songs in the same key with the same four chords, just a different melody, and it goes over awesome. I remember when I wrote "Just Say It," because actually I would say probably like because I like to say Ryan and I do 50-50 with everything because it is very much that way. When we get into the studio, we
Hmm.
iron out everything together. It's Lennon McCartney, it's Mark and Tom, whatever you want to call it. Like we have that energy and it works out very well. But with "Just Say It," that wasn't personal to me. I remember writing that and it was just four chords up and down, wrote the melody, and I sent it to the guys. And I was like, "Do you like this?" And they're like, "Yeah, it's cool. We got to change like the key or something else." That's fine with me. I don't care. There's no ego. I think the biggest thing like between Ryan and I is if we find a melody that we like and we think the
Hmm.
content of like what you're trying to say is good and like we all vibe with it, run with it. So me and Ryan do everything together. It's like so much better to bounce off one another. You know, we do so well together. Just like I said, no ego at all, which is awesome. Because when you compete with people, it's not good. So you know, him and I would just like, for instance, for the EP, when we had to finish like second verses or choruses, we just need one more spot, like a dash there.
Yeah.
We got a six pack of Yingling. We sat in the van and we popped them open. We said, "All right, let's listen to these demos like 60 times, and then it's just like let's figure out what the fuck we want to say." And we go back and forth and say like, "This doesn't sound good. That does sound good. This is one way to say it. How do we say it? Like sharper or cleaner or lighter or darker? Like how do we find the way we want to say the subject matter?"
Hmm.
And him and I, for some reason, just figured out the code. You cracked the matrix. Him and I got it. We just
Uh-huh.
vibe real easy.
That's awesome. That's awesome to hear because collaboration came to me much later. I used to kind of be like, this is the way I first wrote the song, and it can't change.
Mhm.
Whereas,
Yeah, it's hard to kill your angel or to kill your darlings. I think that's what the
yeah,
expression is.
which is if again anyone listening to this, do not be afraid to do that because
Hmm.
that the song you're working on will not be the last good song you ever write.
Absolutely.
The joke you're working on will not be the last funny joke you ever write. Like the amount of stuff, like material that I just sitting in the back of room doing shows, and I'm like, if I hear a joke that's like kind of similar, I'm like, oh, if that idea is kind of out there, maybe I should drop that and
Hmm.
work on something a little
Yeah.
more
Hmm.
hard to think of. Uh,
Yeah, collaboration is super important. I think just like being able to talk to someone, and I think this revolves, you know, more than just like in songwriting, but just being able to talk to someone about like your ideas and then
mm-hmm,
hearing back constructively, A, what's good and B, what's bad about them. That I mean, like that helps you so much as a writer because you know, like if I have an idea and I need help with it, I can't in my room, I just throw it into the void. I hope something comes back, you know. But
mm-hmm.
if I'm at band practice with Mark and Ryan. Oh, the jamming. He's so stupid good at jamming, which is a whole other thing we can get into. But like, Mark, when I bounce something back at Ryan, it's very constructive, very easy. We know the feelings we're going for, and just like our influences match up. He's got more of the like a harder early 2000s like Motion City soundtrack and
Mm-hmm.
like I think he likes like Thursday and like harder bands and just like he loves Dance Gavin Dance, which is like a little heavier. And like I love
Yeah.
pop acts, which not to say I don't like hardcore, but like I love pop music and like the other side of it. So like we put
Mm-hmm.
our two edges together, just like it's awesome balance.
Yeah. Oh, I can totally hear that. The thing that really struck me when I first heard you guys, and I didn't even really realize this until I talked to Mark, is that you guys like, and this might be different because you're playing drums, but you guys like tuned down. Like for the longest time, and the other thing, and I'll tell Ryan when I talk to him is like, as somebody with a deeper singing voice,
Mm-hmm.
in for to hear it someone else with a deeper singing voice in punk rock is very
Mm-hmm.
inspirational because for the longest
Yeah.
time I'm like, if I can't sing through my nose like Tom DeLonge, I've got no future
Yeah,
in
you
this
got no
game.
chance, right? Uh-huh.
So
Yeah, no. I think Ryan's voice plays a lot in our success. He's got such an awesome cadence. People love that he kind of sounds like Mark Hoppus, who's just like eating grits at the same time or something, dude. It's like I don't know what it is about his voice, man, but like I knew when we first started playing, when Leftovers first came out, I was like, yeah, this is it. This is people are gonna like this shit.
oh yeah, absolutely. That's a great song. Sunshine is another favorite song. And I told Mark this, but I think for the new single, I don't mean to blow up your spot because I know the EP's not out yet, but Black and Blue should be a video in the future. I really like
Dude,
that song too.
we're playing on, yeah, dude. Oh my God, that song is. And I don't really care. We can talk about the whole record here because everyone wants to know track listing. That's fine. You can't hear it. And I hope no one leaks it, Colin. If you're watching this, I know I sent it to you. But fucking leak it. But anyways, um, I think we've I mean, we talked to people obviously who we've sent it to, and like this is fine. The last track on the record,
Hmm.
we've gotten a lot of response from that one too,
Yeah,
which is
that's
like
good.
that song almost didn't make it. And it was one of the ones we were like back and forth on, and we decided to throw it on the record because we wanted to show that like when Goalkeeper really steps up to the plate, we can come and throw down. It's like
Oh
that
yeah.
song hits hard. It's a heavy song, and like I think it's a bit more emotion on like it taps on like the emo side of things and the darker side of Goalkeeper. Oh,
Hmm. Oh, I can still hear
sorry.
you. Oh, no problem.
Okay, yeah, sorry. 20% left on my battery, which is no big deal. But yeah, that song in Black and Blue in particular, just like they cut deep. I don't know why, but like they're awesome songs. The way they came back. Funny story about Black and Blue, I'll tell you. Ryan and I were gearing up to write some songs for the record because we're a little behind, but we were catching up. So
Hmm.
I remember realized like, yo, I'm free today, this day, whatever. Can I come down? He was like, yeah, I actually got some awesome stuff I want to show you. You can go back and forth and some things. I was like, oh, awesome. So I get down to his house and I was like, all right, dude. So I have this. I'm going to show you. Well, what do you have? And he was like, so truth be told, I don't really have anything. I wrote something like when I first woke up this morning, and that's about it. Can we run with that? And I was like, and come to find out, that's Black and Blue,
I,
which
lo-
is so awesome.
I
It's
love
so
things like that. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, it's so organic and just like comes about, and the rest of the way the album was written, it's that way too. And I think it's why the songs are so good. Everything just came about of practice or just a small inkling that we had that could be potential, and then showed to the band, and we all just like took our hands on it and molded it and just made it our own, which is awesome. So like the album's super collaborative, and I'm so glad you like Black and Blue. That was a touch one to me.
Yeah. That one was another. I mean, I love all of it, but that song, the first time I listened to it, that one really particularly stood out for me. Absolutely.
Good,
Um,
good. How about hear that, man?
absolutely, dude. And the EP comes out September 25th, and then and I know it's kind of this might be kind of an odd thing to think about because shows can't happen right now. Um,
Hmm.
what are some things that you want to see happen in the future, like post pandemic or post EP release?
Well, so we'll stay as relevant as we possibly can in between now and when shows happen. But I think until then, the only thing that I can imagine is maybe like I would love to see us do like a live performance, some sort of like live feed on Facebook or something like that, and us playing through the EP and maybe just doing some other songs like
Hmm.
Sunshine and Punk Partners. But that would be awesome to see. You will see some merch. Merch is coming, so you guys can support that way, which would be awesome. I think, unfortunately, like when it comes to vinyl, that kind of stuff immediately comes back. Like as soon as touring, it's like as soon as things are safe, as soon as things are healthy, we're 100% right back on the road. Hitting up as many places as we possibly can. So and what I think we're gonna use this time during quarantine just to like keep building the stats and keep building the resume. And, hopefully when touring does happen, there are bigger offers and we're going out with, big tour names and we're not out there for just like a week. We're out there for 3 weeks and we're hitting
Yeah.
places we've never seen, so that's going to be the next goal. So like, and I can't, I can't stress this enough, man. 2020 went the way we were supposed to. It was looking pretty good. Not to say it hasn't been awesome and it hasn't been super successful so far. And we're very happy with everything that we've gotten. But we had a lot of shows and we were going to meet a lot of people. So we're going to do the same thing in 2021 when everything is safe and when everything is back. I can guarantee you that, and I'll be at the merch stand. I'll be eating pizza. I will be willing to talk to anybody who wants to talk to about Goalkeeper, about the show, about anything. So we'll be out there as soon as we possibly can. I hope so. Fingers crossed.
Awesome, man. I think that's a good outlook to have. The thing that also impressed me about you guys is like your very adult way approach to your music career. That's something I found talking to Mark, and
Mm.
I'm bummed that all these shows didn't get to happen for you this year. But when they do happen, I of course can't wait to go to the New York City area show.
Yeah.
I'll be the tall guy in glasses in the back, and
Oh, well, now.
yeah. Oh, definitely. And dude, I can't wait to like meet you in person someday at a show, and I want nothing but good things for you and the rest of
Thank
the
you,
band.
man.
So,
I
uh,
really appreciate that too. Thank you so much for your kindness. It means a lot.
absolutely, man. And thank you for taking time to talk to me today. Is there anything else we can mention before we get out here?
We can, firstly, thank you for having me. I mean, honestly, and anyone who wants to talk to us, we're just so appreciative of anybody who wants to talk to us about the music, anyone who supported us, and we can't, be more thankful. But aside from that, just, Just Eight is out. Please go watch the music video. Casey and Tim did an awesome job on it.
Hmm.
Killed music video, looks so good. The colors are awesome. They
Yeah, I
made
love the
Ryan look
colors.
so weird with just like his mouth right there. And there's so many small cool things. You have to watch it over and over again before. So definitely go check out Just Say It. It's a bop. It takes like 2.5 minutes. Listen to it 3 times. I don't care. Like take the time out of your day. It's super good. It'll be stuck in your head. Life in Slow Motion. It's coming out September 25th, and it's a nice piece of work. It's a collective piece of art. Super happy with the team we've had, the experiences we've gotten from it, just the writing, the people we've gotten to meet, and just the fans we've influenced and got to touch their lives so far. There's a lot more coming, and I just can't wait to see what it's like when the record's released. So pre-save it. If there's a link somewhere, I can share it to you after we get done here or something like that. But
Cool.
yeah, it's coming, and I really can't wait for everyone to hear it.
Awesome, man. Well, well, listener, I have heard it. If you liked this conversation, you will love Goalkeeper's new EP. Get it September 25th. And Cody, thanks for talking to me today, man.
Oh,
This was great.
absolutely. Yeah, this has been a super big pleasure. We'll have to do it again.
Absolutely, I'd love to, man. Anytime.
Yeah,
This was great. Thank you.
cool. All right, man. You have a good night. All right.
You too. Appreciate it. That was great. I could not have pictured that conversation going better than it did. That was a wonderful chat with Cody, Goalkeeper's drummer. Dude, thank you so much. I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to me. And if you guys enjoyed this, you're definitely, as I said, you're definitely going to love Goalkeeper's new EP, Life in Slow Motion, which will be out on September 25th. And you can see their new music video for the song Just Say It. Now, wherever you get your music videos, primarily YouTube. I imagine that's where I get my music videos as well. And thank you guys so much for being here today. You can also check out Goalkeepers. They have an EP before this newest one, so check that, which is also great. So check that out as well. And thank you guys so much for being here. That is our show for today. If you enjoyed this, you can definitely and let your friends know we are available wherever you get your podcasts: Apple, Stitcher, Spotify. If you want to get a free month of Stitcher Premium and support the show at the same time, you can go to stitcher.com/premium and use the promo code AWESOME in all caps. That will get you one free month of your subscription to Stitcher Premium. And if you guys are curious, you can go to patreon.com/awesomedisaster. Check out the exclusive content that I have for people on that channel. I also want to give a shout out to my supporter on Patreon at the awesome producer level, Mary Beth Mooney. Thank you so much for your support. And if you'd like to hear your name at the end of the show here, you can go to, again, patreon.com/awesomedisaster and see the reward tiers that I have. But I'm just happy that you guys are here. I hope you're doing well wherever you are. And I look forward to better times and brighter futures, hopefully sooner rather than later. And I look forward to a time where we can all go and see shows again, and looking for shreds of positivity, because that is again what I do, and this was a big part of it. So thank you guys for being here. I will see you next time between awesome and disaster. Stay safe and wear a mask.